Yeah, in watching film of House, had you seen hints of this?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. Like I said to our guys, I think we've done a much better job, in year two or this year with this group of identifying who their best players are in the other teams and coming up with ways to sort of neutralize them. That doesn't mean completely stop them, but every team in this league has guys like that. I mean, and that's got to be sort of a defensive identity that we have, and we have to come up with ways to do it. We got a game on Tuesday, Hamilton. Guess what? He had 42 against Colorado State. So every team has that. And I thought, this team is these two guys. These two guys are really good guards, and I just don't know part of it not having played them yet, And like I said, the level of respect that we always have to have for whoever we say the best players are in the other team in this league has to be immense, has to be like such a chip on our shoulder that we know what we got to do. And like I was just saying, it might be one of the only game, the first game this year where like the other team's best players beat us, like hands down beat us. We've done a pretty good job of that this year, So he is the key to their team. And when I watch him on film, when I watch him, I watch the games on CBS Sports and FS1, and I'm like, guy's hard to guard, and some guys are better at it than others. And, again, you never know if you have Ethan and does that add a little something here and there. But in the grand scheme of things, it just comes back to we have to really make sure that we're always locked in that way. And then I have to do a better job. And he's a little different because he's a point guard. What scheme can you come up with to sort of disrupt him, And sometimes it's harder with that with the guy who's so good with the ball. And, he was really good today. We didn't do a good enough job of making him miss. Both those guys put him in, and if that's the strategy, then you got to make him miss and you can't foul him, and we just didn't do that today. And give them credit. They did it at the most important time of the game when we cut it to 3, and we did a really good job of doing that. Because they had success earlier in the game, they knew they could go back to sort of that, and then they did right at that juncture. And that's why it's critical to sort of set the tone that way with those guys, because then maybe they don't feel they can go back to it when the time comes again. And give them credit because they both did a really good job at that juncture of the game.
So do you think Ethan's absence maybe was felt more on the defensive side? Because you guys did find your point.
Yeah. You just never know. I mean, obviously, I know, everybody knows. I mean, he's important to us. He's important to us, diva, his instincts. And really what it does is it puts him on those guys X% of the time, takes other guys off of him X% of the time. And it's just that's the team nature of things. So every team has guys that are better they're best defenders. And, Ethan's one of ours, and today we're playing a game against a team with two sort of perimeter guards. Not quote unquote, although the kid made threes today, but they're not like shooters. They're drivers. They're guys off the dribble. So having him would have helped, but we got to do a better job, whether with him or without him. And hopefully our guys know that. Like I said, I don't want guys putting their head down and. When you lose, you don't put your head down and sulk and go, oh, man, I'm mad. You sit there and you go, be reflective. And you sit there and you say, okay, well, what happened? How did that take place? What do we got to do to get better? And you got to be like that because this is a season. We got all of February. I mean, the season's not over. And this group has to learn that and go through it. And we got to get better. And if you can be reflective, and give, okay, those two guys played really well today. And they beat us. And we got to look at ourselves and do what we have to do because we're going to play them again. And as a coach, that's how I'm going to judge, Air Force, New Mexico. How do we do in the next game? First, turn your attention to Vegas, but hopefully our guys can do that because if you're reflective and you use your head and your heart, then you can do something about it because, we have to make sure that we stay on that path of we've identified their strengths, who their best players are, and we got to make sure that we're good at that. And like I said, it doesn't mean you're going to stop them, like wipe them out, but you got to neutralize them. And we certainly didn't do that today.
And in terms of Ethan, Where's he at? Like, could he have gone tonight if you?
I don't think so. So I'm hopeful for Tuesday. We're going to shoot for Tuesday, but it's possible it could be Saturday. I mean, it's all how the swelling respond. How much it goes down. Obviously, pain threshold. But I think first, if you can get the swelling down, then you're headed in the right direction. And we'll see. He's been good with getting his treatment, and hopefully we have him back. But I think, like I said, every team in this league and maybe across the country has had to go play a game, or games without some really important guys. You know what I mean? So again, it's a team thing where the guys in that locker room have to sit there and really learn from today, and obviously know, okay, well, we didn't have Ethan. Well, we might not have him Tuesday, so we got to be ready to go against Vegas, and they're playing well, and they got a guy. So we got to be ready to sort of execute that game plan, and that's sort of, the habit we have to sort of get back to, because like I said, I've seen it. We've improved that way. No question we've improved that way. Didn't do it today, though.
And is it a left ankle sprain?
Yeah, ankle sprain. No, just a sprain. But a bad one. He came down and landed on, landed on a guy's ankle. So, and maybe that did, not playing with him at the start of the game. I don't know. Did that have something to do with it? We responded. We came back from it, that bad start. So if he doesn't play Tuesday, okay, well, we've gone through it, and maybe that'll help us. But we just got to make sure, like I just said to the guys, that we stay the course. And, we had October. Did we get better? We had November. Did we stay with it and get better? We had December. Did we had January? Right. That's just called college basketball, and it's college basketball in the Mountain West. And it's a hell of a league, so there's no better teaching method and no better learning experience than what we're going through right now, and they really got to lock into that and not have things like affect them and bother them, and just go, okay, I got it. We're moving forward, and that's the approach we're going to take.
What made House so difficult to contend with?
Obviously he's a really fast guard, and he's really good at finishing too. So if he gets even just a slight bit around you, it's kind of hard to get back in front of him. But I know we can do a better job. We'll just have to do a better job next time we play.
When you guys cut it to, I believe it was 3 in the second half, and then they responded with another run, kind of how demoralizing, I guess, was that? Because you guys had overcome all that early stuff at that.
Yeah, obviously the run we went on was key for the game, and I think there's a timeout that happened, and I can't remember exactly, but there's a timeout, and we just knew we had to keep coming out and punching and just try to get the lead, but they came out and punched us in the mouth, so we just had to try to limit that, and we didn't.
And playing without Ethan, how did that change things?
I think especially at the beginning it changed stuff a little bit. We kind of got out to a slow start, and that was that was my fault too. So without Ethan out there, I think it changed a lot, and we just had to get used to it. And we ended up after the very beginning, I think we ended up fine after that.
Were you kind of playing the point guard a little bit, or did you just happen to bring it up a couple times? Or what?
Yeah, me and AJ both played point a little bit, but I'd say I probably brought it up more than him. But either way, it's interchangeable, no matter who brings it up.
Was it kind of, obviously, in the context of the loss, your performance, scoring 20 and kind of doing some extra things, probably without Ethan out there? Was it kind of a fun exploration for you to see what you can do when you push it?
Not really, just because I wanted to win, and that's the main thing we're focused on here.